Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 47. Certainly adding all are welcome except for trolls and haters and hoaxes and frauds, of course. I'll just cue some music up and do a few usual checks before I start. Trying to get this volume right because seems to be either too or too loud. I think it's probably the correct volume. It's annoying how it peaks like that though. So let's see where we're up to. Just switch to the desktop. I'll type my welcome message. I should have it cut and pasted, shouldn't I? Trying to type lines, yeah. Alright, what's up? Anybody out there? Say hello down the side if you want. I'm using still the new system, so the graphics is going to be better. I didn't hear from Robert. I think he might be in bed. Yep. So just kill the music, I guess. Wrong button. There we go. I've gone back to just the bass sound because it seems to be less peaky, hopefully anyway. I don't just have to keep playing around with it. There's always little technical problems, isn't there? Hey, Jamal, is it? How's it going? Yeah, I got a bit of a tummy ache tonight, so we'll see how we go. Hopefully I don't need to rush off to the toilet. I've just come back from walking the dog, and I suppose I've got a few things to cover tonight. How are you going anyway? You're good? That's good. So I just got to go over some stuff that's been put around as real and it isn't again. And first of all, probably do the Sunspot one. So I'll just get my folder open. Got a few snapshots. So I was correct about the Sunspot, about the FBI being involved. They put out a statement today. Hopefully that's the right one. And says it has been cooperating with ongoing enforcement investigation of criminal activity occurred at the Sacramento Peak. During this time, we become concerned that a suspect in the investigation potentially posed a threat to the safety or local staff in residence. So that's what I said. I said if FBI is involved, it's going to be terror related, or they've picked up some chat of a mass shooting maybe, or a bomb threat, although the bomb squad wasn't in there, was it? So could have been mass shooting perhaps, but they haven't allowed. If it was just someone stealing stuff, you'd expect it just to be with the local police, wouldn't you? You wouldn't expect FBI to be involved. So the decision to vacate was based on this logistical challenges associated with protecting personnel at such a remote location. So apparently it's going to open up, it says down here, the Sunspot Solar Observatory is transitioning back to regular operation as of September 17th. So maybe it was a no-go. That's probably the problem with saying silly stuff in emails. They spy on us if you pick up keywords like terror or guns or something like that, or bomb threat, bomb. It probably gets flagged and put into a side queue, So all this paranormal, docs of all that sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? All the fake news about it anyway. It's saying it's going to be an alien invasion, to a meteorite heading towards us, to UFOs hanging around the sun, which I'm going to cover more on in a minute. And what's the other ones? Maintenance, meant to be changing the mercury bearing, which I don't think actually happened. But or it wasn't a mercury spill, because I confirmed that last live anyway. So you're sort of probably getting sick of hearing this story, but already I see Tyler just put out a couple of hours ago another video on it, also saying he don't believe the official story. So where is it? Let's have a look. I'm surprised that Google hasn't deleted his video on these ones, because he's scaremongering and fake news, same as Alex Jones, pretty much. You can guess all you like. So he's got now 1, 2, 3, 4 videos on it. So so he's put up this one here. What's the title on it? I see he's changed that annoying music at the beginning. Although he probably, because he doesn't do live, he doesn't have that crazy peaking that you get with the free software mixer. What's up, guys? So he's already got 69,000 views, and he's got really Sunspot truth finally revealed to the masses. So basically he's trying to dismiss what they're saying. The guy was involved, but it's clearly they're not saying what I just said, that it probably was some chatter they picked up which was a bit dodgy, and they just want to investigate the person involved, shut it down just as a precaution, because it was around 9/11. So what do you think on that one, Jamal? Have you been following that story? Have you been watching my lives? I don't think you saw the last one, because I don't remember seeing you around. And of course, you got also Third Face putting up stuff, and pretty much all conspiracy and fake UFO sites as well. So they don't care if they're going to scare someone, and then they go around and shoot their whole family because they think meteorite's going to hit planet Earth. You know what sort of scare War of the Worlds radio show did? How long ago was that now? 1950s, was it? So yeah, that caused a mass panic, and I think 3 people got killed in that too, didn't they? So yeah, let's see what Third Faces got up. I know they put up videos and then they get caught out and then end up deleting it, or it gets flagged for review and it disappears, because I think these ones here, that one there and that one there, disappeared for a few days. So it must have got reported. Maybe they used stuff in the images without asking permission, and a lot of people, as you know, don't understand fair use and copyright. So they put a claim against it until it's resolved. So the videos get taken down, I guess. So here we go, 1 hour ago. So looks like they're switching to a new topic here. Police officer makes contact with aliens. Right. Haven't looked at that one yet. FBI not talking. Well, they are. They're talking to the suspect. So that one's been resolved now. So we can finally close that one off. Rob. To a survey because what? Hacking? No. Retracted? No. I don't think it would be hacking. It might be someone that was sending stuff to China, maybe, and picked it up in emails. Yeah, it's just another conspiracy talk. Has it actually been verified? Obviously, they've picked up chatter of some sort. So why would they want to be hacking that? What's so special there, you know? It's not like they're hacking into Pentagon or anything, onto a bank. Considering that 2 guys walked up the opposite side of the hill and got into the place, while the FBI I've heard, were outside in a tent having lunch and drinking tea or something. And they only had a guard at the gate turning away people that come up on the roadside. It didn't seem like a very high security thing. And didn't the person also manage to get inside the building? I heard there was there was a bit of video on YouTube where they walked inside and videotaped stuff, so it was all empty. So yeah, I don't think it's any. If it was hacking, that place would be locked down, padlocked stuff, and they would have an armed guard at the doors, and it would be turned off. There'd be no power. Doesn't make sense. If it was hacking, why would they close down the post office as well? Normally what they do is they don't shut down the whole place, because that brings more attention to it, doesn't it? So what they do is they normally just bring a normal person in that sets up some computer gear to be able to track the hacking. No, that's just all, mate. Any kind of alien life wanting to hang around the sun, consistent with hostile temperatures involved. Well, they're not that hot exactly. The surface of the sun is 4,400 Celsius, we found out when we did the research last time. And there's no substance on Earth that can withstand that, of course. So, yeah. But conspiracy talk of hacking, they would have just simply said that there was a security breach on the computer network, wouldn't they, if it was hacking? And of course, also Linda Moulton Howe, I think, she does airfiles. She covered it as well. And airfiles. Now, she did what a normal investigator does. She phones up people, says, "Is it true that you're closed down?" and all this. And apparently, there was stuff going around also in the fake news sites that it had been other observatories had been closed down. And she phoned around all the places on the list, and they all said no, they're still operating. So I think there's a thing here. There we go. So she talks about it here. I'll post a link to her site. I don't particularly like Linda, though, because she has been caught out by frauds in the past. Not once, but many times. And she's sort of open to crazy stuff, like teleportation to Mars. And of course, you don't know if people are lying or not because they're not put on lie detectors, or they're not sort of given a mental test to see if there's sound mind as well, which is basically what abductees are about to do, all those kind of checks, and work out if someone is stable mind, even if they're an airline pilot or whatever. Who we got on here? Rob? She sounds far out. Yes, she's very popular, Linda, because of the cattle mutilations, of course. So she's got a lot of fine print here. We're open Monday, so that might not be the latest one, but somewhere she talks about how she phoned around. So she's got all the full information there from the websites. Claimed we're shut down. What's this one? A list of solar observatories that some websites claim were shut down. They are not and never were shut down. It's only the National Solar Observatory in Sunspot. So there you go. She did that on the 15th. So she actually got on the phone. So what was this list here? First tweet from National. So apparently there were some offline. Some cameras may be offline, temporary out of service. So they've given her a report. It's a bit like MUFON. They're updating their database at the moment, as we found out last stream. And apparently they're adding some new fields to the database, and it will be up and down until Christmas, where it will be taken offline for a major overhaul or a major update. So it might be down for a few weeks in December. So we might not be able to use UFO Stalker, or at least won't be able to link to the images, like we found the other day. So not sure if there's anything else here on her site. But I give her credit for doing the donkey work of actually phoning around and verifying things. Black Vault, he's also got some fake stuff up on his site that wasn't sure about. Some known fakes that got debunked. I don't remember which one it was now. But yeah, he gets a lot of government reports and freedom of information requests. So yeah, so that's the Earth files. I was meant to do it on that tab. I was meant to do it on the next one. Apparently you got to keep one tab open so you don't accidentally close it. So that's that one. Okay, on to the next bit. So yeah, I think if it's like like a gunman or something, and they may be not wanting to let too much information out while they're still researching other aspects of it. You know what I mean? Like other links in the emails. But I guess they've all been sort of alerted now from all the news that sort of happened. So yeah, it's sort of out the bag now. So on to the next bit. Oh yeah, I need to go to my website. Oh yeah, I'll do that in a minute. I'll just load that. So that's that one. Yeah, I probably should have sorted these. So it's been propagating as, I think it starts there. Probably should choose the top one. He's been talking about these images from the solar satellites as them being UFO or solid objects. And even though it kind of looks like a solid object, you can see here it's like the same space in between. And it's actually a burst of plasma from the sun as it's ejected upwards. See, it's going out into space and breaking up more. Kind of looks like a disk from far away. You know, it's sort of our brains work. We see images, but when you really zoom down onto it, you can see that if it was a defined edge, why isn't it shown here? See here, it's sort of bubbled out, and it goes around here. But the easy way to debunk these ones is obviously, as you know, I brought up the live cams, and you can have a look at all the different images, all the images that were taken at exactly the same time. They got one that does a stereo image, and they put different filters on to look at different chemicals and heat and corona of the sun. So if the object was there on this one, it should be on all the images. And of course, this guy here is a conspiracy person. He doesn't care about the facts as long as it gets him money. Actually, and he's growing quite big, feeding into people's imaginations. And he's got another one here. I'll just go through them. So here's an object coming up, passing in front of the moon. I mean, was it the moon? No, in front of the sun. That's the sun, isn't it? So this is actually the moon here, the dark shadow in between this satellite in space and the sun with a filter. So it's actually a video, and you see this sort of pass up this way and move out of frame. They're saying this is a UFO in between the camera, the Soho camera, solar sun, or whatever it's called, and the sun, obviously. So it got in the way of the image when they snapped it. And obviously, the moon doesn't move that fast, so it'll probably be in various images, and they'll just put it together into a movie. So it turns out they snap it every couple of minutes, even though it says real time on the page. I should bring it up so you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully I've got it bookmarked still. Let's see if I still got it linked. the sun now it's called. So it does all these images at the same time. And if there was something there, it should be on all images. Unfortunately, it's a slow site. So now they say near real time. What they mean is it's near real Earth time, but it's about 7 minutes out, which I guess it takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to travel to Earth in the first place. So instead of saying it's 8 minutes difference to Earth time, and the images are updated every 2 minutes, that would have made a lot more sense. And of course, you have to refresh the page here because they don't auto update. So yeah, so the time here is 9:59. I can't quite read that one. That one was a couple of minutes before. So yeah, if it were hanging around here, right, it's going to also be in other images. So if we click on that one there, we got all these ones here. And I think they have timestamps on them. If you click on the little eye up here, it tells you what each one looks at. Cooler dense plasma. So it gives you a lot of information there. And that one has a different one. Highlights outer atmosphere, blah, blah, blah. Solar flare. So you can see there's quite a lot of images they do. So what they've done is they've combined all 3 images, taken at the same time. So if you're not sure, you can always check this side out and see if there's a black dot in front of the moon, in front of the sun, I mean. So I guess, what's that one here? That one's sort of that color, so it must be this one here. So if you look for the video for that one, for that particular time, there's the video link. But they do archive them. I think you can go on another index, ones going back previously. So that's 24 hours. So obviously the moon passed across in front here. So if we click on the video link, it will try and load. But as we know, it's very slow, especially when you string. There you go. It's sort of loading each image in that it does every 2 minutes. And you can see how much the sun is rotating. You can see it's a sphere, a ball. So why wouldn't planet Earth be a ball as well? You can see how it's sort of bending around on the curve here as it coming. So it looks like it's not got the moon passing in front of it on this one. We'd have to find out what particular day it was, I guess. So what are you guys saying? Yeah, I'm going to cover all that in a minute. Yep. I'm going to cover all that. Stay with me. Rene believes in everything. I see extraterrestrial alien face above it in dark patch. Yeah. Do you see Santa Claus in clouds as well? I think you're making Rob laugh there, Rene. What's happened to this? It's sort of disappeared on us. Anyway, I think there's an index link. You can go through it and find the archive anyway. I know I've come across it when I've been searching anyway. Something screwed up with the page layout. I'll just close that. So yeah, there's a good site to bookmark. I'll paste it down the side here. Going, have a look around. But I'll carry on and I'll show you even more stuff about this, which Security 10 fans won't like very much, but I don't care, because the truth needs to be told. So that's just another image about the writing where the moon's coming in. Next one. So he's talking about these big, large objects out in space here, which was just talking about that you can verify it on all the images to see if it's there, especially the combined one. But we'll find out what they are. But as you know, it doesn't sort of like, it's not like the internet where you sort of download an image and the packet switching, if you understand how the network works. It doesn't have error correcting and doesn't send back to say that package got damaged, resend it. Because they only store so much of the image, because obviously we're talking about, I think they go up to 4K, isn't it? 4,000 something, I think it was on the page. They've got to store all that and then transmit it, 4K of image, via a radio link. And then process the next one. So if they kept doing error correction, it could gradually fill up all the memory, right? So eventually it will stuff up. So go on to the next one. Now this one here, Secure Team is bringing up again. This one is a Photoshop fake. We have proof of it. Now we're not too sure whether it was him photoshopping the fakes or he was receiving it from another channel that was faking it, but trying to make it out like a cubed UFO. Remember, it was around about the time that he did that cube hanging over Texas, and so many people believed it, and it was just another Photoshop. Well, here he's trying to justify it again, I guess. And if you have a look at UFO Interest, go through all his archive stuff, he actually shows several of these cubes, and he actually found the original image for the timestamp. Fake, original. So don't trust stuff he puts up. And in this case, this was Scott C. Warren. Giant ball cube seen orbiting the sun. Wherever he got it from, Security Team 10, who knows? Or Security Team got it from him. Where did he get it from? Is he making the fakes? So that's not the only evidence we got here. We've also got another one, which probably need to bring up the page. According to Hoaxer Security Team 10, NASA censored a large UFO near the sun, and whereabouts is it on this photo? I don't quite see it, but he's looking at the timestamp here, and he finds the original one here. I think maybe that's a large UFO coming down, is it? You can see here it's full. Now I've got the actual link to that still. Let's see if I can copy it across. I don't know why people don't like hearing the truth about Typhon's Security Team. He's not an honest guy. He's been called out so many times. And he's destroying the UFO community in doing so, and people just don't see it. Mind you, now he's spawned off copycats, and there's a lot of people out there, new channels that are growing very fast using the same techniques as third phase and off the moon and secure team. So here's the actual posting. I'll post it down the side too, so you can go and have a look. But it's one of his older videos. What time was that one? What date? Have we got a date on it? So that was on 2016. So he's been doing this sort of stuff for a long time. So it looks to me like I can't quite see where the UFO is meant to be on that smaller image here. Looks like the color has been changed because that's darker up the top there. So what it is on the original. I'll post it down there so you can have a look. Yep, they're both disgrace, and yet they make so much money. And I don't know why Google, I don't mind them having a channel, but they should really be counteracted with intelligence and people like me and UFO interest putting stuff up saying, well, no, actually it's this. People that actually research and actually know a wee bit about cameras and technology, you just don't put up stuff as all UFOs, because we know if you look at MUFON database stats that 95% of them are closed as mundane IFOs, and the 5%, as you know, most of those ones are closed unknowns, generally don't have photos or videos of them because there's not much to go on. So now I think they're doing another classification saying not enough information rather than closing it as a... And of course, they've got different skill levels amongst all the MUFON investigators out there across the whole states, and they're not all the same sort of levels as me and Scott, and they do make mistakes when they close it as unknown, because the perfect case was that deep space satellite, which was another one Tyler put up as a UFO. Let's see if we can find it. So it's on reference in it. Anyway, apparently it was closed as unknown. This one here, alien satellite. I'll post it down the side just in case you haven't seen the debunk of it. But Mick West done most of the hard work, and I helped him pin the actual plane using the flight tracker software. And I think Il alerted the guy to reopen the case and close it as solved. But yeah, apparently it was just a long exposure of a plane passing in front of the camera, and as you know, it creates a ghosty image like you get in those paranormal ghost photos. So where did I get to now? I think well, they should be classed as entertainment, but we know, as I've pointed out in previous debunks, that their classifications is posted as science and technology or news, and some people use people, but it really should be classed as entertainment, and it should have a disclaimer. None of this information has been verified, and it's just my opinion. It should have stuff like that on it, But my problem is with all these channels is once it's been solved, they should get rid of all the rubbish on their channel. They should update the title to say confirmed or solved, and then do an update video. But as you saw, Secure Team was plugging it as still a conspiracy instead of saying, yeah, I was wrong. But he knows if he does that, people will unsub for him, just like they unsub for me when they don't like what I tell them. Like that opening graphic I have. What was the slogan for it? Truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. And that is so true. That's why they call you a hater when you attack another channel. But I'm not attacking another channel. I'm just exposing them. It's not exactly attacking. Attacking would be if I was attacking them with no real evidence. But here I'm just pointing out there's real evidence. We've just proven it. Now Scott's got a side-by-side comparison that he's saying this is a UFO, and it's been clearly photoshopped. And of course, all those other ones that I've debunked over the years, the leak of voices, which I reversed and found people had duplicated it, downloaded it without him knowing, and sort of uploaded it on their own channels. So, yeah. So where do we get to now? So we started there. Just need to get rid of some of these snapshots since we've worked for them. I think if Google removed all the ad money, they would simply not hang around unless they could increase the donations, of course. I don't think Tyler would keep putting out UFO videos like I do, because I don't get any money either. But I still put out stuff each week. So, and I do interviews and talk with El from MUFON. He did an interview on a podcast today, I think. So he hasn't had time. He's doing a thing for a band. He's a singer, and his wife plays and sings as well. So they were doing a event today, and or was it yesterday? And today he was also on the radio show, so he's pretty busy. So that was. Let's see where I got to. All right. I think I may have deleted the ones that I've gone through. So that gets me on to the next one, the UFOs around the sun. Although the ones we were looking at before were done by NASA. But there was something else I was going to bring up, and I'll just paste the link across. I think we probably need to look through his stuff too. How do we get to his main page? So he's put out a few stuff recently on the sun thing as well, but other debunks. This one here, I think I'll sort of mention why I got it open. Section 51. They used to be listed as a science and technology site and plugged that they were getting hold of UFO videos. And when Scott has been debunking them for so long, that they changed the category to film and animation, which is correct because they're CGI. And here you go. You can see this is like that model that you find on Google. Obviously, they got the CGI for it. I mean, the data points, the wireframe to fill it in. And here they fabricated a UFO on the deck of, what does it say? USS Gerald. TR fake fabricated by Section 51. Apparently that's made it into the newspapers, this site. It's just absolutely crazy. Don't the reporters all around check on information they receive nowadays? And I guess that's why we've got all this crazy anti-Trump news that we get every day, and then they get caught out with the lies, that one about Trump ignoring the crippled kid was the one that sort of was a bit stupid. And they just took it out of context. He actually shake the hand of the kid beforehand and also gave him a hug after, but they took the clip in between. and whatnot, it's just one newspaper puts it up, and then they all duplicate it. It's a bit like when they use Secure Team or one of this guy's videos, and it goes around the web. So let's see, he's got more on this one here. So Daily Express has published it. Would you believe it? So you wouldn't trust that newspaper to give you the truth, because they don't do background checks on where they're getting information from. Oh, we've got another one here. What newspaper was that one? It doesn't say. It was on Facebook by the looks of it. Anyway, that's basically all we want to do with UFO interest and the sun. So onto this. So on the last string, I'll just bring it up. And I'll just pause it. Mojo sent me a message. Let's see how slow it is. Now, I'll amplify it. Paul, do you think of Dr. Judy Wood's research? I think there's a connection between energy, technology, and storms. Is it on that one? And I said, don't know her. Is that the one that claims beam weapon took out Twin Towers? Then, well, she's been disproven. Let's face it, if USA could control weather, I think they would use it to prevent billions of dollars of damage. And if another country had, I think USA government would know and have a countermeasure. It's just to do with sea temps, evaporation, and land mass funneling, is what I said to him there. And then he's come down here and said another thing. Question to me is about this video. What do you think about this? So I noticed when I clicked to open, so I'll do that now. It's about the sun UFOs, which I'm going to go over now and debunk. So there we got the moon again, I think. So it's another hoax called UFO Vinny 2012, and if you look at that UFO blacklist, I think they talk about it. So it's always best to look at what other debunkers. How do you spell it? Vinny. That also means UFO, doesn't it? In Latin, is it? Spanish. Or 12 UFO blacklist. Oh, let's get the typing right tonight. I think he's in there, so let's have a look. Seems to ring a bell. I must have typed it wrong, have I? What was the name of it again? Right. They dropped the O. Straight away, here we go. Blacklist, first one. It's listed here. So it's talking about another site. UFOs documentary features hoax videos created by blah blah. Let's have a look. I think I've lost my, I don't know, scale up function. So it'll be here in the list somewhere. And other people use it, of course. Other fake channels use stuff from this channel. It just gets more of a more mess and noise on the UFO subjects. And it just annoys the hell out of me. I don't know about you guys, but I think it was UFO, wasn't it? UFO. Here it is down here. A mismatch of bad CGI posts and current events spun to seem related to UFOs, including completely unfounded speculation that the MH370 disappearance was a mass abduction. At best, one video included a Billy Meyer photo as its subject. So there you go. Kill straight away. So go back to this one here, and I looked at it and I replied back, but I'll go over it with you in a minute. I said ST10, Security Team 10, and UFO Man put this up right, so it's got to be an IFO or fake. My guess it's a reflection of the internal lens of a telephoto lens. Perhaps they held up a telescope or binoculars in front of the camera, but as the sun, they need to filter out some of the light or risk burning out the CMOS chip. The streaks camera artifacts from motion blur, and that's clearly was held, not tripod, with a lens held up, which I found out a bit more later. I'll talk about that. I probably talk about it next live, which I'm doing now. They do prove how they look. Took it. They don't prove. Do they prove how they took it and what year? So I found out later they had a statement. So I'll go on there. I read a comment. She uses an iPhone 8 with a optical clip-on telephoto lens and aimed it at the sun. So if so, the blobs, I should say, are CMOS being overloaded, and the cells on that particular cells, and streaks because no tripod. Any slight movement while you're taking a photograph, and the black big thing just a reflection of the clip-on lens. So I updated that, and here I said, Dazza, the cameraman, confirmed my findings, and I think I might have a snapshot of that one. And interesting as well, I got reply back, and guess who's showing up 3 hours ago? Mr. UFO Man, full of it. Apparently I'm full of it, full of knowledge. Maybe that's what he means. But I've debunked his channel. I was very disappointed to see that pretty much every video he's got on there is very suspect or from other hoaxes like this guy here and that woman that Dazza, the cameraman, talks about. What was their name? Gina Hill films nothing but internal lens reflections from those clip-on lenses. So I'll just bring that up. So I put out what I onto Twitter anyway, and I asked about if people would like to verify what I thought, which is the same statement here. Reflection of the clip-on lens internal workings. And Dave comment is here with a link to his debunking the Bureau Planet X with the finger test. I thought it might have been a video for him debunking this woman. So I said, yeah, thanks for confirming. I didn't know she was a known fraud. Have you a blacklist of known fraud sites yourself? Might be a good idea to link in the pinned comment. So on his webpage, at the top you can pin a statement on your fan page. Of a blacklist of all the people that he's come across that keep putting up rubbish and don't update the titles or remove the videos after they've been sort of disowned. So that one's done. And sure enough, UFO of interest has gotten to the action as well. Also talking about this Gina Maria Hill, 90% fake, he's saying here, and UFO interest has said exactly, but fix your stats to 100%. So that's quite funny. So he's verified it too. Now these guys understand cameras, so you don't mess around with them. And here he said to this guy, what's his name, Eric, whatever. He's the one that runs that video that we're going to look at in a minute. He's the one doing this channel. So he's telling him to fix that video, which he hasn't done. Hasn't changed the name. Hasn't done anything. So please don't share that bullshit about UFOs near the sun. Those objects are just internal lens reflections. So that's another one. So that's now 3 of us all saying the same thing. And what was the last one here? All right, even Uni Rock got it right. And I'm so proud that he did. He looked at it in big screen. And he said it looks like the small parts of the internal of inside of a camera. So even Uni Rock there got it. I don't agree with all his debunks though, because he has got a few things wrong, like the SpaceX one and Flat Earth. But I think he's now changed his opinion on Flat Earth. So yeah, you could probably go and listen to that one where he's talking about fake news and the UFOs. It wasn't a bad one he did there. You can see he's got 2 channels because everyone's now paranoid about being taken out by Google. That he's got a Uni Rock one, which is his original channel, and Uni Rock 2, where he does pretty much debunking news reports and stuff. So if he loses this channel, it's not going to be too much of a blow, but he probably will be upset still. So he's actually making some good money from it now. He's got about 34,000 subs on his main channel, and he's got how many on this one? I think I'll probably cut it off. It says down there, doesn't it? I think it's about 8 or 9K. Anyway, so that's 4 people now, the same thing. So yeah, I guess I'm full of it there, UFO man. I don't know what I'm talking about now. This is why we work in teams. Hopefully we get people to reply back. It's best way you need MUFON. People in MUFON are like a team. Like if they're not too sure, they'll go and ask someone else that's an expert in photo analysis, and that's why they use Mark D'Antonio. So what's this guy saying here? You're probably all agreeing with me. Well, I don't even know who she is, Judy Woods. Is that the one that talked about the Twin Towers being shot down? Hey, Uni, we're just talking about you. How long you been sitting there? Good stuff you did on that video, by the way, the live. You're getting better and better all the time, mate. So I just haven't had time to check out all your stuff lately. As you see, it's time consuming just dealing with your own channel. So yeah, so this video here, we'll just play some of it. So let's have a look at some of the images come in. Just missed them. I hate it when you pause, you've got this line down here, but really that should be below the video, if you know what I mean, so we can actually read what it says at the bottom. Huge object, massive UFO fleet near the sun. So, I'm not sure where the UFO is in this one. Is it this one here? So you got to remember, a lot of this stuff is caused by radiation and plasma bursts, and of course you get motion blur because the technology can only process it so fast. Now, if you go and do a search, I think I've got it cut and paste, so I don't have to type it. Here we go. What causes glitches? So the thing is, I'm not too sure at this stage whether this is an amateur or if it's been taken from the NASA images at this stage. It looks like it's someone that's sort of taken it. So that means we don't know how it was actually recorded, but I think it's probably that woman with the clip-on lens. So that could easily be motion blur, because we sort of didn't happen here. Just a slight movement is what it needs. And obviously, we don't know if she's using a filter or not, but it's quite easy to overload a CMOS sensor on a cheap mobile phone, as you know. There's technical names for all the different artifacts you get on a smartphone, but there's quite a few. One like ghosting, motion blur, rolling shutter, overloading one. I think that's called bursting. So yeah. So what causes glitches on the Soho Sun images? And we got Fox News here. UFO space station orbiting the sun or camera glitch. So if we click on that, and here we go. We got one like Tyler puts up here. That looks like a Klingon ship or similar, I guess. UFO hunters have spotted. So the UFO hunters is probably Secure Team 10 he's talking about probably. And Scott C. Warren. So here's a close-up. Almost looks like the Sputnik satellite passing, doesn't it? With the long arms. So here's the expert here. They asked the streaks in question are consistent with energetic particle proton impacts on the CCD, thing which is apparent in just about every image Rich told Life's Little Mysteries. So again, it's a camera artifact caused by energy particle proton on the CC camera out in space. So notably, these artifacts do persist from image to image, proving they are momentary blips in the camera sensor rather than the actual object in the field of view. Some images taken by the LASCO 2 camera are swarming with artifacts caused by particles sipping across the CCD in every direction. So CCD, as we know, is a better technology because it doesn't sort of scan like a flatbed scanner. It processes on the image all at the same time. So they use some high-end cameras, but the downside of CCD, it uses more power. So they don't use it in smartphones. So they've been trying to improve the CMOS technology on the chips in the smartphones to do more chunks at the same time. And that's why you get the rolling shutter, because it scans in so many lines at once in milliseconds, or I mean microseconds, not milliseconds, downwards like a flatbed scanner, but you don't see it, but the camera is doing it. So that's why if you get a fast moving object close to the lens, you'll get smudging and you'll get like duplication of the image, like you get with the insect's wings, where you sort of get that funny ripple effect happening. So yeah, so even the CCD camera can be overloaded. The sensors can be overloaded with too much information. Cosmic ray passes through the camera image sensor. It deposits a large amount of electric charge, which is what I'm saying, in the pixels that it penetrates. So that's it, like that V-shaped craft he was talking about in space. It's going to be related to a burst. Why it forms a shape like that was a good question. But we know Mother Nature does some crazy stuff. Imagine a burst of cosmic rays happen to hit the camera lens at just the right angles to create a form of hinged spaceship, which is basically what we were just talking about. The boom angled out slant across the rows and columns of pixels was formed by a cosmic ray streaking through the camera sensor diagonally and at a shallow angle, depositing charge in several pixels along a diagonal line. Cameras on Earth are less susceptible to interference by charged particles, but it's saying less here, not zero. So even your smartphones can be affected. Space, because the Earth's protective magnetosphere blocks them from hitting the planet's surface. So you can actually get artifacts even on your smartphone aiming at the sun, because obviously you're aiming at a direct source of particles, aren't you? So I think that's pretty much all you need to read is that site there. I'll post the link down on the side there so you can have a read later if you want. And that was on Fox News, you know. We don't even trust the mainstream media anymore, do we? This was back in 2012, before the election stuff happened. That's probably when they were less crazy about politics, you know. So this stuff's been going for a long time now, and it's still being put up on Secure Team 10 as UFOs and these videos here. So this one here doesn't look the right quality to me to be NASA, so it still looks like it's going to be the woman's image. So I reckon the streaks are by not using a tripod in this case, and possibly the sensor being overloaded as well, where it gets too much charge and it bleeds over into the next pixel. It's a good way to ruin your phone too, I guess. And they're not cheap, those phones. They're about $1,200 here. I don't know what they're in America. So here's another good example. You can see here it looks like it's been being overloaded. Definitely looks like a photocell on the CMOS sensor bleeding out, what they call bursting. And you can see here the sun's a funny shape, so it looks like there's motion happening in two directions. Well, it looks like it's like an egg. Our sun's an egg, apparently. So it's moving downwards diagonally here, which sort of adds to the direction here. If we drew a line that way, it would match up with these ones here. And because a CMOS is scanning, so it'll probably be scanning left to right. So when it's landscape, it's scanning blocks down like this on the rolling shutter. So here she's moved it slightly in a different direction. Shutter has caught that chunk, and then this chunk here, and then this chunk here, and then she's slightly moved again, and now it's changed to motion of direction, and it's moving diagonally this way. So the rolling shutter's caught it that way, and that way for the rest of the image, if that makes sense to you guys out there. How many people with me still? Scared most of them off, I guess. We've only got one on. Who's out there? So we'll carry on. So what is the time? I've probably been blabbing quite a bit on this. 11 o'clock. I suppose most of you be going to bed. So we'll keep on going. So he's showing the same image here. Is it big enough for you guys to see, or do I need to make it a bit bigger? Yeah, I think I scared most of the people off. I think Uni Rock will probably be doing his own show. You must have known I was talking about him. Your ears burn. But I wasn't saying anything bad, of course. I was actually giving him some praise. This one, main reasons that led FBI to evacuate the Solar Observatory. Total nonsense. Again, you can see that various photocells are being overloaded here. And obviously motion is going this direction this time. Sideways. So we're not actually seeing real objects. And what do we got here? It's got a finger. Can't see any UFO there. It's just annoying. It's the same photo again. Same again. So this guy should have updated his video. Yeah, you're still here. You're the only one here still. I've scared all other people off. But I don't care. So what do we got here? We got blobs. Southern logo in Chile. Webcam. So now looking at the webcam that these places put up. So what are we looking at? We're looking at probably a burst of cosmic radiation on their webcam. I don't know what type of camera they're using for the webcam. It might be a cheap one with the CMOS again, where the cells get overloaded. Who knows? Canada. And now this woman's one. It's just camera artifacts. I bet the Solar Observatories are not using CC technology for their real-time web feed for those webcams. If it's true, I don't know. But we know what this woman's using, and we're getting reflections inside the telephoto. So he's trying to say all those lines are UFOs. So here we go. She's talking about the camera down here, or he is. If I pause it, puts a line through it, doesn't it? Yep. It's because they don't understand. Smartphones are not designed to aim at the sun. You'd have to have a high-end camera, and you'd have to use a welder filter. So this is the one that there's actually a picture of inside the camera workings coming up here. And if you look, I don't even really need to zoom and work on it. But you can see it looks like the edge of the telephoto lens housing. And the black bits here look like it could be a screw head. And some sort of, I suppose you could probably enhance it. Looks like some sort of lever or print stamp on the back of something happening there. Well, it could even be the pinhole where it lets light in, but hard to tell. But to me, I think what's happened is that she's clipped on the clip-on thing, which is one of these ones. I have to look it up. But she hasn't got it on square on the lens, and so it's a clip-on. Lens for iPhone. It works on any camera though. So it'll be one of these ones here. You can see that one there could easily be slightly off censor. Center, I mean, not sensor. Well, even off the sensor. All of them could do slightly off, so you can see the edge of the camera from the lens off the camera itself on the phone, if you know what I mean. It's like looking down a toilet roll. If you get a toilet roll and you move it slightly, you're going to see the edge of it with your eye rather than straight down the middle, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure how to explain that. Does that make sense, Jamel? So you can see you can get all sorts of different brands here to clip onto, make the smartphone a wee bit better technology without buying expensive Sony, what they call them, DSLR cameras, or a proper CMOS, a CC camera that you really want, not a CMOS sensor. So you can avoid all those different artifacts. But you can quite easily see how easy it would be not to have it lined up properly, even if it's a millimeter out. You're going to get the edge of the where is it? Don't need that one. You're going to get the edge of the camera housing here. And if you have a look, it kind of looks like it's manufactured. I don't know where we can get the images from. We'll take a snapshot of that one anyway. So whereabouts was it on the main image here? Down here, was it? Oh, there. But you can see here, it's got streaks again. She's clearly not on a tripod. So she's moved it, or just knocked it. But I think it's also a bit of bleeding, because it's been overcharged, the cell. Even CCD cameras, they said, suffers from it. So we'll see if I can cut that bit out. So I don't know why people would jump to the logical conclusion that's a big UFO near the sun. Could you imagine how big it would be if that was close to the sun? That would be massive. It would be most sunspots on the sun you can fit 10 Earths into, I think it is. Maybe we can find out. And you know how big the sunspots are on the sun. They're little black dots. So we'll find that out. It's near the end of the video here as well. So the question is, we want to know how many Earths fit in the sun slot. I know it can be quite a few. I think even the Saturn, that Saturn's eye of the storm is meant to be able to fit quite a few Earths into it. So we can look it up and find out how many Earths fit to the sun, right? fit a sunspot? We'll just try that. Someone's bound to ask that question, I think. So sunspots are dark areas of the sun that contain complex arrangements of electric fields that are constantly shifting. The largest spot in this configuration is approximately 2 Earths wide. So we need to look at the photograph of that, I guess. So that's the size of the Earth in comparison. Just shows how massive that sun is, and yet it only looks like a little dot in the sky when we look at it with our eyes. So, but we really want to see the fallout of that area. The space it's going to be, the sun's going to be right around, if you know what I mean, around that whole page. And see if we can find other pictures. How many Earths could fit inside the sun? That will give us an idea how big it is. The sun is 864,000 miles, 1,400,000 kilometers across. This is about 109 times the diameter of Earth. The sun weighs about 333,000 times as much as the Earth, and so large that about 1.3 million planet Earths can fit inside it. So you can line up 109 Earth planets in line, goes across it, but to fill up the volume is 1.3 million planet Earths. Imagine how, you can't even imagine the size of that sun. And it's not the biggest one in the universe, obviously. So how many Earths can fit inside? Was it Saturn? Saturn storm? Find out. That's the wrong place. Well, we're talking about sizes of planets and stuff. Saturn's storm. Is it Saturn or Jupiter? I've got the wrong one. I think it might be Jupiter. Jupiter, yeah. Got the wrong one, haven't I? An ancient storm, so it's Jupiter. So correction there. An ancient storm is so large that 3 Earths could fit inside it. So how big is Jupiter then? How many Earths fit in Jupiter? So it's 109.4 Sun. So it's a wee bit smaller than the Sun. So it's only, the volume only fits 1,300 Earths, which is 1,000 times less than the Sun can in size. How many Earths can fit in the red spot? That should say 3. Yep, 3 says at the end here. We wanted the diameter. It doesn't really matter. We know it's going to be 1,000 times less in volume. So it'd be like 10 Earths across, I guess, if you scale it down. So there's the storm here. So that's a storm. And yet we just had that big storm, Florence, is it? In the coast of America there. You could imagine how big this one is. That'd be like a nightmare storm. And of course, that's a gas giant, and I think it's mostly toxic gas too, isn't it? Jupiter made up of. Also need to land a probe onto it. I think they did recently, haven't they? It's called a gas giant planet. Its atmosphere is made up of mostly hydrogen gas and helium gas, like the Sun. Our planet is covered in thick red, brown, yellow, and white clouds. So if we run out of helium on Earth, because we're going to run out of it eventually, because it's trapped in porous rocks apparently, and I think there's only one plant that's sort of sucking it out of rocks in America, and it's not going to last forever. So eventually they're going to have to send mining ships to Jupiter to get the helium, so you can keep making helium balloons, and we can keep having all these UFOs on Secure Team 10. So, yep, we'll just close that down now. So this is the lens we're talking about here. As you can see, it's quite easy to have it slightly misaligned. And we got here. So I've downloaded the image. So let's see if I can amplify it. And while it's loading, I'll have a look at the comments. Of course, the more and more you look at the stuff, the more and more science you learn, and more you know about cameras and how they're not really perfect devices at all. The more you'll be able to pick out fake UFOs yourself. Just have to keep doing it, keep learning. So it's finally loaded. Yep, we've got so much to learn and so much to explore. But we won't find out in our lifetime, unfortunately. But it would be nice to know whether UFOs and aliens exist. And we're going to be so peed off with American government and maybe other governments for covering up for all that time. If they come clean, disclosure as it's called. So let's see what we can do with this image, if anything, to prove it even more. But as you said, we already had 4 experts all say the same thing. So does that look like it's sort of like manufactured edge on it? Definitely looks like a hole or a screw head there. I still can't quite make it out. So we'll just apply some filters to it, see what we can see. And we can muck around with the contrast. And we haven't got the original photo to deal with. So does it actually show us anything? Definitely looks like on a piece of metal. You can see that the sunlight here is overloading even the sensors, because it's sort of what do you call it? What's the word? My mind's gone blank. But it sort of overloads and makes it all white, so you can't see. Definitely looks like it's a line on a piece of metal, but I think it's going around here. You can see like it's got a sort of curvature to it. Yeah, we could try some other filters. This one always goes slow though. Right. Yes, I don't know. We're not sort of nothing sort of standing out because we only got a sort of number of colours that we're working with, all yellows. It's gone wrong. Yeah, not going to be able to do much from that. Probably if we had the original proper image. I suppose they got it from her Facebook page today. So I would expect if there's a hole there, there's going to be one over here too. I bet it's an adjustment to, you scroll it to change the magnification. It's probably a cog here going around here for the rotation. Probably need to see a image inside the lens really for comparison. I don't know if we can find one. But we'll just play the rest of this silly video. We're getting some other things now. Definitely looks like a man-made object. So he's got the better image. There you go, look, you can even see it's sort of like a stamped out edge from a cheap, probably a Chinese clip-on lens, probably. Definitely looks like possibly a hole in the middle there. Maybe that's where it lets light in. This is the screws. I'll certainly play that. Although it's not sort of updating quick enough. Maybe can snap that one. I keep playing it. That's the end of it anyway. So, oh yeah, we've got to save it. It's amazing how much time this sort of stuff takes up though. Inside clip-on lens. If someone's pulled it a bit, that would be really handy. We got some pictures, but none of inside it. See, if you look inside that lens there, you can see there is some. There's the black bit that we're talking about. So I think that's it. There we go. We've got the black bit that we're seeing, and I think there'll be a screw there and a screw there. I think that's what we're looking at. And we got some other ones here. Easy could be any of those. I'd just like to see it pulled apart though, so we can see the other holes to see if it's a screw hole or some other part of the lens. So even that's got that sort of same edge, and that's off an old camera. It's got the same, looks like screw holes there and there. You can't quite see. See, that's got screw holes here, and that one's got a square. I'm not sure what type of camera that's from though. You'd need someone to smash one open, I guess. But you can see here, if you get the right angle, you're going to see inside, you're going to catch the edge of it, and you're going to see the hole, just like that. That's what we're looking at, but we're looking on the opposite side of it. And because it's clipped on and not screwed on, if it's slightly misaligned, you're going to get an angle like this. So sure if I can explain it any better than that, really. We'll prove it without having the actual lens you use and pull it to bits. But if you did that, it'd probably never work again. It looks kind of fiddly. They look pretty small still, those ones anyway. So let's bring up the other image, because that looked a bit better. That one. If it was just a wee bit brighter, I think we could nail it. Did I open up the wrong one? I think it might still be thinking about it. Oh, hang on, I won't do it with this thing. Probably stuffed up now. Let's do it again. Let's open with there. That's the right one. So let's see if we can bring it up. So if MUFON got that right as an image, this is what they would have to do. They would have to analyze it. And because it's not a video, I think a video would really pin it, wouldn't it? Because it would be like static and it wouldn't be spinning and it wouldn't be moving. Definitely looks like either a plastic or a metal edge on it. Does it look like a Phillips head there? And there's the hole that we saw in the other lens pictures. I don't think we can do much more than what we're doing now. Don't know. probably should have processed this when I had full CPU, because it's a bit slow. But I don't think we're going to find any. We're not going to have any effect with the flip hue thing, because there's not enough different colors on the screen. So let's start to show something else up here at the top here. Up here, definitely looks like a hole. So it looks like a rim and the hole this way. I don't know if anyone's got a clip-on lens that can take various photos with it slightly misaligned and see if you can get the same image, but just using normal light, that would be a good thing to pin it. Anyway, looks like we're not having much go with that. And what else we got? Brightness, contrast. This is your standard one. Does look like a perfect hole though. That's pretty good. Almost looks like could be something there. I would have been really happy if we could see like a Phillips head, but maybe it has another hole there for another reason. Maybe like where it clips on to another part and inserts into the hole. I don't know, it could easily have been faked. Hey, just simply taking a picture of any object really, but I think it's internal workings anyway. We'll leave it there with that one anyway. Doesn't look like a solid 3D craft, wherever it was. Get rid of those. I think if we had the original photographs, we might be able to even see better details. But yeah, we go back to my comment on this one. Mojo wanted me to look at it. If you go on UFO Man, he was using it. So instead of attacking me all the time, you'd think these people would listen, say, oh yeah, I agree. So here you go. Massive dislike structure found. So what does he put up here? Long Beach Observatory. Filmed by drone. So we're not really interested in those ones. 8 multicolored lights filmed over. Again, that looks like flares being dropped. But I haven't looked at those ones, so I don't know. But this is the one we just looked at here. And you'll notice that this guy always uses caps. Oh, I must have clicked the side one, did I, by mistake? So, who puts everything in caps like that? You put it in caps because it's very hard to read it, don't you find? It's sort of in your face and impossible to really read. Is that a sign of some personality trait? So anyway, what's he saying here? Since he's attacked me on my comments, we'll have a look. So what's he got to hide? National Solar Observatory, New Mexico was forcibly closed by FBI. No explanation. So it's very much Secure Team 10 at the moment. Completely empty. Trying to cover up. There you go. Secure Team, third phase on the moon. Government trying to convert. Lots of music. I hope I got it muted. Yep. Here's this gene. Here's the culprit for those videos. That's what she looks like. Here we go. Back to the same images. Oh, look. Reflection. Sun could be a huge invasion force. Here we go. Conspiracy, conspiracy. Oh no, we're all going to die. New Mexico. Had on my channel and I didn't check him out. And when I found out he was putting up rubbish like this, it really upset me quite a lot. Clearly the guy knows nothing about camera technology and artifacts. So also he's been told by me what it is, and probably will be in future by other people like me. And will he delete it? Will he update it? Saying all solved, camera artifacts and FBI criminal investigation. It was all what it was about. So basically, you don't know. That's what he's saying. Nice fit. New subscriber. That's why you do that sort of stuff. Do you want to be fantasy driven? Lies, putting noise, full noise. Awesome channel. Nice brother, hit me up on Hangouts. Or hit each other, perhaps. So yeah, so that's why he's attacked me. He's another cog in the wheel of Secure Team and all those other frauds out there promoting fake news. I don't know if it upsets you guys on the side there or not, but it upsets me when they come to my channel and attack me when they could easily change their ways. And if Third Phase saw me debunk their stuff, which I'm sure they do watch my stuff, a lot of their videos they take down after I debunked it. The one in question was that one, where was it now? Which one did they take down? Well, they took down the one they faked. Where was it? This one here. They took that one down. Just trying to think what it was now. What's this popping up? Rubbish popping up. Which one? Oh, was it the Ice Fortress? No, they've still got that one up, haven't they? It doesn't matter. Enough on that one. I'm surprised that UFO Man's not been added to this list. But there's also another guy that does a blacklist as well. What's his name? Scott Brown. He also puts one up. But he said he wasn't going to do one anymore because you get a lot of hate and threats from people, which is clearly obvious. So yeah, lenses. There's quite a lot of add-ons you can. But they're just the cheap ones, you know. The proper ones are like this one here, like you put it in front of the camera. Look at that. I bet that cost a bit of money. 40 times. And that's on a tripod, so you should be able to keep it still. I wonder how much it costs while we're looking at it. I missed what you said down here. It does look like manufactured metal object here. Oh, it looks too cheap to be very good then. It's only 13 US from AliExpress. They certainly make it look good, but I bet it's cheap and nasty. Monocular, they call it. 40 times zoom. So I guess it'd probably clip on any smartphone, wouldn't it, rather than an iPhone. You want one that sort of really clamps it. What does a little flimsy clip at the top? I bet that sort of falls off quite easy. You want one that goes around the whole phone. So I wonder what the best add-on clip-on telephoto for phone is. I wonder if we can find out. I wonder if someone's done some testing. Best lens. Say iPhone. Smartphone. Oh, just click the link, Paul, instead of typing. Okay. So we've got a list here. 4-in-1 lens. Well, I see ones are for self-portrait as well. They're not the ones we want. Really, you want 40 times zoom, or even better, if you want to get a close-up of the moon, say. But you can see these are just flimsy 4 times magnification ones. They're no good. You want one like we just saw with a big long lens. Probably have to type what's the best 40 times lens, maybe. You could spend hours searching and reading, I guess. I suppose you got to go to bed soon, Jamal. It's nearing midnight. I'll probably end up wrapping on these two topics anyway. I'm a wee bit knackered myself. Yeah, it's very easy to make fakes. That's why video evidence alone will never be proof of UFOs. You need physical evidence like meta material, as they're talking about. Not isotopes, because isotopes really, I don't think is proof that it's from outer space. You're either going to need a specimen, like a full alien body in front of you, some material that's got structures that can only be made in outer space, in zero gravity. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna. Ten times 40 soon, mobile phone. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the best lens would be, because we're not actually getting any decent ones popping up. All the like cheap Chinese ones. Wide angle, macro, and zoom kits. Let's have a look at that one. Did I get all the comments? Yep. Why is it not scrolling? It's very slow loading. I think they're all going to be roughly the same. So what's the price? It looks quite pricey. Wow, 60 US. What's so great about this one? See, that's the thing with phones. Well, the cameras. It's not the camera not the CMOS and all that that's the best thing. It always comes down to how good the lens is on the camera. Anyone that knows anything about cameras will tell you that. Now we got these nano film fins, titanium rods that are replacing glass lenses, and they're using it for cloaking research to cloak combat people. You know, they wear it on their clothing. We looked at one of those. We looked at some videos on that technology, probably 15 live streams back now, or something like that. But that one looks cheap, $20. Well, what's that one? Right, it fits at the bottom of the camera. How's that work? That's kind of strange. The lens look like it's there. Does that sort of digitalize it, and it creates it like a memory card? So it's totally replacing the camera on the phone completely. How much is that one? Aha, that's it. That's why. The device in itself, almost 400 American. That's quite pricey. That's a lot of money, New Zealand. $600 probably, is it? Plus you had GST on. It's like clip-on microphones you can get for phones. You know, Open Minds did one in a meeting, and you could hardly hear what they were saying. But he didn't have a clip-on microphone, obviously, on his phone. I bet that one's also got a built-in microphone. And that way, when you aim it at people and they're talking, it's like a directional mic. And some of those are really, really good. That looks like $90 one. So that clips over the original. And that one looks more solid. See that? It sort of has more of a grip on the phone. Best for 36-degree photos. So how's that work? Does it rotate around the top as well, like a little robot, go around in circles? So this is only for iPhones, is it? Yeah. So I only use Android myself. I don't like Apple products. Don't know about you guys. I find them too pricey, and you can do so much more on an Android phone. You can hack it and super user it, and add on all the security you want. You can put firewalls on, and you can just get a load of apps, and they're all free. And you can even put ad blocker on and remove all the stupid ads. But what I tend to do is, if I like a particular app, I normally pay a couple of bucks to them. But some apps are just ridiculously priced. I bought an app for navigation. What's it called now? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. It was like $34 a few years ago when the exchange rate was really, really good. Now it's like about $100 to buy the app, which is quite pricey. You know, it's using maps, and you get updated maps. And of course, that's where they make the extra money on you too. You pay so much money to buy the app, but then they say that you only get maps for 2 years. You know, when they build new roads and motorways, you have to then pay another $50 to get the update map. I really hate that as well. It's a bit like virus scanners, isn't it? You know, you want to buy one-off price and be done with it. Anyway, I'll post that Tom's guide. I think he does some good stuff, this Tom. I'll post it down the side there if you want to have a look over it in case you're interested. If you're an iPhone user. And have let so much. I tune in. That's good to know, mate. But you have to go through all the videos and then you'll learn even more. Because I repeat myself so much, you know. But that's because it's not sinking in, and then we get new people coming on. So it's best to repeat it every so often as well for new people to come on, then direct them to other videos. As you know, pretty much my live stream, or the second one, I show you how to use that paint.net to break down a video into individual frames, and then you can start to enhance the frames or make slow motion and zoom in, which is the main one, because you get these little points of lights, and you want to take each frame and cut out around it each time. And you can see it's a long process. No doubt Photoshop or something like that may do it. I don't know, but I think you have to pay a monthly fee for Photoshop. How much does it? That's another question. Well, paint.net is totally free, and if you know how to do it the hard way, you're always going to get it right, rather than let software handle it for you. How much is Photoshop? Who makes Photoshop now? I know it's got quite powerful. It probably won't even run on my computer because it's be so big and powerful. Probably you probably need like a dedicated graphic card and all that. To Creative Cloud for about $10 a month. There you go. $120 per year. That's American dollars. Don't forget. Previously, you could purchase a box copy of Photoshop without a subscription, but would typically cost more than $700. So it's very pricey software. So Paint.net versus Photoshop, you can see why I don't use it. But you can see why people like Mark Antonio, uses all this high-end stuff because he can afford it, because he charges $1,000 just to even look at something, which is fair enough. It's a good way. I think he does all MUFON stuff free though, but anyone else like History Channel, they've got to pay. And then he'll probably have a thing where they sign a contract where if the DVDs get sold, that he gets a percentage. So it's a good. You see how the Ancient Alien guys are doing pretty well from History Channel. So up to 100 gigabyte of storage. So it's saying you need 100 gigabyte of storage even to use it. Because my hard drive is only like 240 gigabyte to start with. So yeah, there's other reasons why I don't use it. So I've pretty much what I was going to cover tonight, and that's taken over 2 hours. It's nearing midnight already. When did I start? So probably let you get to bed there, Jamal. You got to work tomorrow, have you? Oh yeah. Haters, I trying to ignore them, but it's a bit hard to sometimes. Like that comment, I had to bring it up. Him commenting there, calling me full of it. That's just hate speech. It's okay, they can have their say, but it doesn't mean they're correct. And before I even start to debunk those ones, you can see I debunkers on that particular person, and they all come back and said, yeah, they're fraud. So really, anyone that's used those images claiming to be a UFO near the sun should delete that video or update the title saying solved, see description or something like that, if they're honest people and not just doing it for money. But as you know, you can find out how much traffic people get in even my channel through Social Blade, but I think there's another one. Social Blade. The thing of Social Blade, it doesn't know whether you've got ads enabled or not. And it doesn't know, only Google and the site owner knows. But this one tracks stats on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and you can type in the channel name up there. So, UFO man, how's he doing? There we go. We've got a few UFO mans out there. Although that one looks like a female. So I don't know. So let's see. He started 3 years before I did. So he started before the stupid election stuff. 2014 was when the best time to be on Google, and ads were paying good. He's had almost 3.5 million views. So if that's 3 ads per video, that's 10 million, and half it by ad blocker makes it 5 million, and then divide it by 1,000 to get into dollars. So he's probably had 5,000 US, and he's coming up to 29,000 subscribers. And we know he's got ads. If you open it up in the browser, it will pop up with a banner ad. But I got it blocked on here. So he's gaining 15 new followers a day and 3,000 views a day on average. So he's doing pretty good. Not bad for putting up fake stuff. And if you look at mine, And you can keep an eye on how mine's going. Looks like someone's copied me. Let's just check on this guy. And what people do is they do steal stuff. And they're playing off other people's names. He's only got 14 subs, you see. So he does comedy. So he's not copying me as such. See, that's why you should always check to see if other people... when did he start? Obviously, pretty new. I don't know. Looks like he's only just popped up here on the stats. Because I did check to see what names are out there. So he started a couple of years before I did. It's funny that I didn't actually find him on the searches. Else I would have used a different name. It doesn't matter. So it's another good way to check things. Here's another Out There TV. Hasn't got the word channel. New channel out there. So where's mine? Or maybe I think I have to remove the spaces on mine. There you go. Remove the spaces and then it finds it. Here straight away. So I've lost a couple of subs today. Probably over Secure Team again. They probably watched one of my videos and liked it, and then they saw a debunk on Secure Team and then unsubbed. You get that all the time. I've probably had as a sub as I've had unsub, so I've probably had almost like 3,000 sub in the time I started my channel, and I've got 1,300 left. And you can see I don't do very well as all these other channels. There you go, 2 subs. I did do well on the last live stream. It seemed to pick up on the last couple of live streams. But I get 1 sub a day on average, it reckons, and views about 80 a day. So yeah, it's just not my debunks and stuff are not getting out there because Google's not helping, and because they disabled ads, I don't think, because they're not benefiting from the money themselves. They used to have ads, then they changed the rules. But yeah, I won't get it back until I've got 4,000 hours watch time, and currently it's sitting around about 140,000 minutes, which I think is about 2,000 hours. So I've still got another 2,000 hour watch time to go. But I've got enough live streams up now, 2 or 3 hours or longer up. If I had enough people watching it, a couple hundred every day, every one. And I think most people don't watch it right to the end. They just watch the first couple of minutes of it and think, no, I'm not interested. Click off it. So it depends what you're looking for, I guess. Truth and to learn stuff from. I did actually teach in university, so, and I sort of presented the same way as I did in university. I sort of give people lay person's examples of how binary works, because I used to teach computers how to convert 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1 the easy way. So I used to do that sort of stuff and teach it to CAD/CAM people that work on computer graphics. They had to pass computer fundamentals, so I did that part-time teaching. That was good money. That was like $65 an hour. But I was also doing another full-time job looking after a high school computer network as a contractor. And I was doing like 70 hours a week back then. So, yeah. So I might just try and wrap it up and let you go to bed there, Jamel, and let Google process the 2 hours, whatever it is. And probably have more to talk about next time. Okay, mate. Yeah, good night. I'll just cue the music at the end here. It's probably going to be too loud again because I've played around with it. But I've probably missed something that I should have talked about, probably. Good night.